My teacher pulled me aside and said, "I'm sending you to the principal's office. When he asks you about backpacks, you better tell him the truth." I was completely confused. I looked over at my best friend, Matt, hoping for an explanation, and he shrugged his shoulders. My teacher pointed that I go, and I didn't have a choice but to comply. I walked into the principal's office and sat across from him nervous. I had already gotten suspended 3 months ago for a week when I got into a fight after I confronted a bully. My principal watched me closely for several moments, waiting for me to speak first. I stayed quiet. Finally, he broke the silence and asked, "What do you know about Louis Vuitton backpacks?" I responded, "Not much at all." He slammed his fist into the desk and yelled, "Don't lie to me, boy. This has gone far enough. I am done with the lies. I am done with the deception. This has gone far enough." I was shocked. I had no idea what he was talking about. I stuttered and said, "Sir, I honestly have no clue what you mean." This made him turn bright red. I thought his head was going to explode. His tight collar seemed to strangle his thick neck, and his veins looked like the Incredible Hulk's. He went on, "I'm going to give you one more chance before I let the police handle this. Go back to class and think about your actions and their consequences." I left his office, my stomach in my throat. I tried to think through everything I had done over the last few days, and if anything could be mistaken. I texted Matt and told him to meet me at my locker and explained what happened. He was more confused than I was, and then asked me if I knew something about a stolen backpack. I said, "No, I didn't even know there were expensive backpacks. I couldn't afford one anyway." I looked across the hallway and saw a police officer standing next to my principal, both of them staring at me and Matt. They whispered something to each other. Several of the other students noticed and started gossiping to each other about it. Then the officer and the principal came over. The principal said, "This is your last chance to come clean, or I'm letting the police take it from here. I want you to be very careful right now. What you choose to do in this moment will affect the rest of your life." I wish I knew what they were talking about. I would tell them anything, but I'm completely lost. I stayed quiet and mumbled something they couldn't hear. Then the principal said, "Fine, have it your way." He turned to the police officer and gave him the nod as if it was my death sentence. Then the officer got right in my face and said in a stern voice, "Open up your locker." I thought to myself, cool, he's about to be let down because there's nothing in there but video games and a year's supply of chewing gum. At this point, Matt and a herd of other students had gathered around, hoping to get a glimpse of what was going on. I opened up my locker with a sense of relief, then swallowed hard when I saw a Louis Vuitton backpack. It sat there like a shiny new illegal toy. I had been set up. Every nearby student gasped, and Matt looked at me like all of a sudden I had some incurable skin disease and said, "How could you do that, man? That's someone else's property. They worked hard to buy that and you just think you can steal it? You freaking disgust me." My stomach churned, my palms sweated. I couldn't speak. I thought, "You're my best friend, dude. How could you turn on me that quickly?" The officer grabbed me, turned me around, slammed me up against the lockers. My principal glared at me. The other students snarled at me as if I was the worst traitor they had ever seen. The officer read me my rights and walked me past every student. They all stared at me with hatred in their eyes. The officer shoved me into the back of his squad car and took me downtown to the police station. He stuck me in an interrogation room without saying a word. I waited and waited and waited. Then the same officer entered and asked me, "How long have you been running the bag op?" I responded, "I have no clue what operation you mean, sir. I swear on my life." Another officer came into the room and whispered something to him. His eyes bulged when he heard it. He quickly stood me up, apologized, and told me the truth. It turns out that the cops found iPhone footage from another student that showed Matt sticking the Louis Vuitton bag into my locker. Matt set me up to take the fall for a major backpack operation he had been running for over 6 months. Matt lived next door to me, so when I got home, I knocked on his front door. He opened it up and acted happy to see me. I knocked him out before he could say hi. The police pulled up in the driveway behind me and took him away.